I'd like to begin this morning by reading a poem to you, and this is because we are going to be co-hosting our national convention for our parent organization, and we're all very excited about it. This is only the third time it has ever been held in Florida, and it's next week. So if you want to come to church next Sunday morning, we hope you will come to the Florida Hotel out by the Florida Mall. And that's where we have our service Sunday morning and Sunday evening. But there are lots of other exciting things going on all week. This is called The 201 by Herbert Ray Worth. They came inspired, the 201. They worked with a zest and a zeal, and spirit was guiding the work to be done. That certainly each could feel. They knew that in unity there was strength. They hailed to that clarion call. The words of our pioneers at length rang through the convention hall. They fashioned a framework through love, which gave man hope beyond fleeting breath, that our loved ones speak from beyond the grave to tell us there is no death, and to free men's minds from the past's dark creeds to strive for things yet to be. A century ago, with their words and deeds, they gave us the NSAC. This is exciting, folks. It started in 1893. Now, think about that. 1893, that's a little while ago. A few years. And spiritualists came together at a time when there was a lot of other growth and a lot of other important things going on in our nation. That was the year of the World's Fair in Chicago. That was the year of the Great Pan American Exposition, also in Chicago. And guess what? That was our first convention in Chicago, all at the same time in different parts of that great city. A lot of things were going on that were bringing about change and calling people's attention to change, to new things, better things, things that would help people in the years and years to come. Now, spiritualism, we know, became known in 1848 here in this country, modern American spiritualism. It had great attention for a good many years. People were excited by this new religion. After wars in particular, it was very, very comforting for people to hear from a loved one that had been lost in conflict. It brought great comfort to those who were grieving the loss of a loved one, even if they passed of natural causes. How wonderful it was and still is to know that life continues, that no matter how long ago or how recent a loved one has made their transition to the higher side of life, we know they are still watching lovingly over us, that we can feel their wonderful presence. You know, people come into spiritualist churches and they're so comforted. They say, I can't talk to my family about this. They think I'm crazy. And you know, it's amusing, but it's sad. It's sad. People instinctively know there is something after the life here on this earth plane. Instinctively we know that. But to find other people and a religion that understands it so completely, teaches it, preaches it, knows it. What a wondrous, wondrous thing to bring to all of humanity. Well, before the 1893 convention, there was a national convention of spiritualists. And it came about in 1864, so not that too many years after the advent of the Fox sisters. Well, we don't know a lot about that group. They met for 9 or 10 years, but don't know if they didn't recognize the importance, if they didn't keep records, or if they've fallen by the wayside. Nothing much is known about that group. It just kind of dissipated. But again, by 1893, the world was changing, and people were thrilled with the progress of so many new inventions and new ideas that were coming into this country, that it seemed the time was ripe for spiritualists to once again gather together. Mediums needed protection. You know, at that time, we had already been through a lot of the dreadful trials and tests of mediums, people wanting to do scientific tests as much as they knew about science at that time. But, you know, we know that mediums were put into bags, and the bags were tied with rope into knots, and the knots were sealed with wax. I mean, I get kind of close a breath just thinking about it. Victorian women, with all their femininity and their integrity and their modesty, were physically searched to be sure they weren't hiding something that could produce the phenomena of spirit communication.